Off to a slow start. I haven't pushed this one out on either YouTube or Twitter, so it'll probably be a quiet start with people drifting in slowly. Who's here? Do you want to say hello? Hold on. That's Joanne. Hello, Joanne. Up, oh gosh. Where's Joanne? You're either... I think you're in Glasgow, aren't you? I'm going to say Glasgow. But I might be confusing you with someone who's in Preston. But I think Glasgow. Tell me how wrong I am. Oscar's here nice and early. Hello, Oscar. Super enriched. Yep, I got it right. It is Glasgow. Okay. So who was it that was in Preston? I'm not sure, folks. Okay. We'll just pause for a minute or two while we wait for people to arrive. I haven't got that much to talk about because it's only a couple of days ago that we did one of these, isn't it? Friday night. How's the video? Too light, too dark? How's the audio? Not crackly, I hope. We don't seem to have had that problem for a while. Then again, I haven't played any of them back in a little while, so I wouldn't know. But nobody's told me during the stream about the audio quality. So an audio and both okay, audio and visual, okay. I have got the lantern on the lowest setting. If anybody thinks it's too dark, I can up it a little bit. Oh, Roger's in the house. Okay, hello, Roger. Still not sure whether I've pushed the button yet on the purchase because I'm doing it by proxy. Not quite sure of the status. Karen came and paid me a visit today. Karen and her family came and visited today. Brought me some things. How's Tina? Asks Joanne. Tina's her usual cussed self. Let's see if we can turn this around and give it a little bit of... She's over there, look. Hey, Tina. Hey, Tina. Come and talk to Joanne. Come and talk to Joanne and the rest of the peoples. She has just eaten. She ate and then she looked like she wanted water, so I moved it towards her to make it easier for her. And then she didn't bother having any. So she's messing me about, making me do work and bring her things that she then doesn't have. She's all right in and of herself. There's no improvement with anything medically. It's fairly clearly just a downward spiral, folks. But I'm here for her while she's here. I can't guess. I can't begin to guess how long that is. But I'm still carrying her up and down the path, up and down the track, the road, when we go walkies. We've been out a couple of times this last week with her chariot. I want to start going out more often with the chariot and on longer journeys. If I can get out about three or four times a week, like maybe alternate days, something like that. I just have to think of places to go, targets to go to. We've lived so long now just in the field without really going anywhere. So this last week, I think I said on Friday, I don't know whether you missed it or not, Joanne, and some of you others. We went out once this week to a cafe bar. A friend treated us to... It was going to be a cup of coffee, but when she got there, she decided that small beer would be more appropriate. For the Englishman, she said. You're an Englishman, you need beer. Okay. I did ask for coffee initially, but she twisted my arm. How's the weather? Joanne just asked. The weather... We've just had a really cloudy and actually... Oh, well. You'll hate me if I say it was a cool day. After you've spent all summer with the temperature between 40 and 50 degrees inside the tent, maybe dropping to 30 or 27 or something at night, when you finally get a day that drops below 20 degrees, I think they're talking about 17 degrees tonight, starts to feel cold. I remember my first winter homeless. I remember 17 feeling cold, and then when it got down to 13, I thought that was really chilly. But then over the course of winter, you kind of harden up, and 13 starts to sound positively mild, positively warm. The lowest we get in like February, we'll get to down to 3 or 4 degrees, maybe for 2 or 3 nights. So at the minute, the temperature falling below 20 degrees it feels a little cool. I'm sat here now under a blanket, although I'm a little warm under the blanket. The blanket's serving two purposes. It's keeping me and Tina a little bit warm, but it's also stopping you see all the detritus that I've got just stored on the bed. Including the EcoFlow right now. I think I just saw a sign of nature arriving. Hello, sign of nature. Just scrolling back in case I've missed anybody. I don't think I have. Quiet start because I haven't promoted the video. I haven't pushed out any alerts on Twitter or community posts or whatever they call them nowadays on YouTube. So people will probably stroll in more gradually tonight. I was a little bit lazy. I set up the stream and then I just laid back and watched a few videos. I've been watching Deep Space Nine from the beginning. I'm in the process of downloading Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Season 2 of High Performance. Is it High Performance Individual or High Performance Intellect? The American version. I watched most of the French version before I got lost on where I was with it. And I think I transferred some to the pen drives and things, and I lost track of where I was, what I'd downloaded, what I'd not downloaded. That's the French version. I think I've done something equally silly with the American version. I think when I was watching season 1 or series 1 of High Performance, whatever it is, Intellect or Individual, I think I only watched the first half. I think I got up to date with where it was while it was being broadcast. And then I don't know. I didn't lose interest, but I didn't realise. I thought like episode 8 was the end of the season. And there are more, and I've come in now on season 2. So at some point I've got to go back and watch the end of season 1. Running out of download space on my phone at the minute and on my tablet. I need to move things across. I think I said a few weeks ago I got my hard drive working, and I've been shuffling files around. I shuffled files around a couple of weeks ago, but now I've filled things up again. So I need to store more across, move more across. It actually got quite full, my hard drive. I went from having used, it's 2 terabytes. I went from using about somewhere between a quarter and a third of the first terabyte to only having about a third of a terabyte left. So I don't know what that means. Does that mean I need to start rewatching what I've already got? Or do I have to start making decisions about what to clear off? Or do I have to start making decisions about buying new storage? I'm not sure. Some of those things, I'm about to make a purchase that's going to almost wipe me out financially. So I guess I've got to cut my extravagances and stop being so, not rash. If you followed the story about my decision making on the purchase, I have been slow and considered. But it is a big purchase in the end. Don't worry, I'll leave myself enough to get by for a month or so. I haven't been coughing all day. It's only when I've started talking with you lot that I've started coughing, I think. So I apologise for that. But as Robert says here, folks, thumbs up please if you would. Let me just do my introductory blurb, which I've neglected to do so far. The channel is Delta Mike down and out in Torrevieja. Delta Mike, that's me. Or at least a character I play on the internet. Down and out. Homeless. A hobo. A tramp. Oh, what have I said homeless already, didn't I? Oh, I've said them in the wrong order. This is what's thrown me. Shall I try that again? Down and out. A tramp. A hobo. A vagrant. An indigent person. A person of no fixed abode. Some might say a bum. Oh, I've lost it again. A bum. Someone who lives rough on the streets, or in my case, in a field. You think by now I'd have that, you'd think I'd have that well rehearsed, but no. But as I say, folks, thumbs ups are always appreciated. Subscribe if you've seen more than 2 or 3 of my videos. Can be a little bit controversial. I think I'm in the middle of a bit of an argument with someone today. Right on the cusp of banning them, but it's been around here a while, and I want to make sure I'm not being oversensitive. Sometimes I can be a bit of a fanny like anybody else. So I'm pausing on that for now. But yeah, if you've seen 3 or 4 of my videos and you think that you kind of want to follow the journey, follow the story, there's not really much of a path forward with the story as such. It is just a case of surviving at the minute. It is just keeping going. As long as I don't end up dead in the next day, week, month, just keep going. There's no real way forward as yet. I've got possible plans and possible avenues for the future, but they'll involve getting the press involved, and that's always a double-edged sword. So we'll have to wait on that one. But where was I? I'm sure I've gone off on a tangent from myself. Just gave a thumbs up. Good evening. Yeah, thank you, Robert. It was your suggestion that just reminded me to tell everybody. Convert your money into tangible stuff. Yeah, I like to have cash in my pocket as well. Sign of nature. Cash in my pocket, actual, notes and coins. I like to keep a little buffer in PayPal, and also on my Tippy Tappy card, my prepaid debit card that my friend Karen got me. But yeah, I do have a little bit of excess. Oh, is there ever excess? Can you ever have excess money? I guess when you're living on 15 euros a week, maybe 20, maybe occasionally 30. Especially in the week when the renewal of my phone, my pay-as-you-go, the renewal of my pay-as-you-go phone contract's not the right word. When the phone needs paying for, that's 15 a month because of the YouTubery. So yeah, I do reach 30 a week when the payment falls that week. But typically, in a typical month, I'd be well under 100 a month, I think. Well under. Sometimes as low as 50. Excluding the phone bill. But I did end up with a little bit extra when I saved up to get money for Tina's chariot, the doggy wheelchair. And then I ended up not having to pay for one. One was donated. So I got spare cash there, and I was looking around at what would be the next thing that would improve my existence here. And the idea of a fridge or a fridge freezer came to mind. Mainly for summer, which we've just come through summer. I did lose quite a lot of food over summer. Whole bags of potatoes or half a bag of onions and stuff like that. Some things just go off super quick. Carrots just don't last. You get carrots and within a week they've turned to mush. I might not, sometimes I'm halfway through the bag and sometimes I've not even opened the bag and they've just liquefied, putrefied. The potatoes lasted months, but because it was so hot, I wasn't cooking that kind of thing. So maybe that was just a bad purchase on my part, or a bad request for friends to get for me. Because as you know, I haven't actually been in a supermarket yet this year. Oh, I have, but that's cheating. It was when I went to Karen's for my hair cutting. We stopped off at one on the way back, just to pick up a couple of items. But I haven't made it to a supermarket under my own locomotion. Carrot and mushy pie. Yeah, if I'd caught them before they'd gone off. But these are putrefied. And the bags that the carrots are in have little holes in them. And you pick it up and it fuck, falls through your fingers, even though it's in a bag. I've had a bit of celery go off once or twice as well. Usually the remnants, the last couple of stalks in the. Is it a head of celery? What do you call the when you get the root of celery and it's got like 8 or 9 stalks on it? Is that a head of celery? I'm not sure what the correct term is for a bunch of celery. If you remember, there was a guy who runs a farm, a small holding around here, brought me a box of fruit and veg once upon a time. I didn't know what half of it was. Things like white turnips and what's the aniseed one that looks like it's going to be a white turnip, but it's got all these big green stalks. Looks like celery to a certain extent, but with a bigger white bulb at the bottom. I don't even remember what that is now. Exotic veg that we didn't have in Barnsley when I was a lad. We know potatoes, carrots, celery and peas, you know. We can spot a pepper. But anything too fancy. A grenade, that's a pomegranate, isn't it? A grenade. Tina, what are you doing? Oh, she was a little bugger today. I cooked half a dozen boiled eggs yesterday. And I ate them here. I cut them in half and just scooped them out. Cut them in half, put a bit of salt on and just scooped them out with a spoon. But my rubbish bag. Okay, I have to make a confession here now as an aside. My bin bag I keep closed. I have to keep it otherwise flies. Yeah. But some things I'm just throwing on top of the bin bag. And then when you've got something like eggshells, there's too much work to do to prepare the bin bag. You got to get over there and put everything that's lying on the bin bag into the bin bag. And so I didn't. I left these eggshells, half eggshells, cooked into each other. And then I went out and had to do something. And I come in and Tina's chewed the whole lot, and there's fucking eggshell crushed up into small bits all over the bed. In the bed and on the bed and fucking on the floor around the bed. Little bugger. My own fault, but I was not happy, folks. I was not happy. Where was I? I've taken myself off on a tangent. Use Tina cash for another pet. Oh. I'm not sure I could acquire another pet given my current circumstances. Scrolling back. Yeah. Okay, I think I've got... Oh, I'm saying I think I've got everybody. Okay, folks, here's another message that I forgot to give you. By default, YouTube defaults to something called Top Chat. by which approximately a third or a quarter of messages may be hidden from you, especially the ones with a stronger language. I like to suggest that you switch to live chat. All messages are visible. And then when I scroll back now, I may see messages that I missed earlier. Doesn't look like it though. Oh, I also haven't published the PayPal link, have I? Which is okay, except whenever I don't publish it, somebody asks for it, and then it becomes a trauma. Especially if they get bullshit. One guy started kind of shouting and swearing at me one time. He was so desperate to help me, he got offensive and got himself banned. If anybody is interested, in the description to the video, so next to the name, where is it? Is it next to the name of the channel or is it next to the title of the video? There's a little link says more. Expand that, you'll get the first paragraph. Expand it again, and somewhere about halfway down is an obscure link to my PayPal kind of pay me page, or however they word it. PayPal donate page, I think it's called. Does Robert keep deleting his own messages? What's that about? Typos possibly? Or maybe you're typing a personal messenger message into the wrong window. I've done that. Okay, folks, 12 of you have arrived eventually. Okay, that's good. Thumbs up if you would. Topics for this evening. I guess we should... I've only really got one. Unless you missed Fridays and you want to go over your week. Can't spell, says Robert. Yeah, I know that feeling, mate. Don't worry about it though, as long as it's decipherable. I'm fairly good at working it out. The odd misletter or transposed characters. What was I about to say? Only one real topic. How did you find the clocks going back? Stock up matches. I've got lighters. I've got a pocket full of lighters. Vinegar. I've only got balsamic. I've still never seen malt vinegar here. I've got some garlic somewhere. Candles I'm not going to use inside a tent unless things are really desperate. I have light. Although my lantern. God, can I show this without being too embarrassed? Here's my lantern. The USB socket is getting a little wonky. This is the only problem with devices that are USB charged. The first thing that's going to go is going to be the fucking USB socket. And something that costs 14 euros. It's not like you're going to take it to an electronics shop to have the USB socket replaced. So I don't know. Things like that are annoying. USB cables are annoying enough in and of themselves with wires cracking and breaking. But then the USB port on the device. It's the reason that one of my favourite things. So my fairy lights up here that you can just see at the top of the screen. Got a little battery box with 3 AA, not triple, AA batteries. And they've got a little USB port in them. And I've been using them now for over 18 months. Pretty much the same set all the time. I bought 8 AA and 8 AAA. I think I knackered one of the batteries once upon a time by trying to charge it while it was still inside the device and connected. Something... I don't know if that was the cause or if it's a coincidence, but something went wrong at that point. I've got one where the port on that is getting wonky. But when you think that each battery costs me less than €2, maybe €1.50 at the time, and I've got 18 months out of them, and only one's dead, one's dodgy. out of 16 batteries. And that means the device isn't knackered. Whereas if this, if the port on the lantern goes, it is solar rechargeable as well. So there's that. It's still a pain point though. When you find a port, a charging port getting iffy. Same with the EcoFlow. None of them are dodgy yet, but you're looking at €250 worth of electronics. You're looking at a battery that's built in there that will last 10 years allegedly. But the USB ports will go long before that. Long before. And then what? A little bit. We need USB ports to be either more resilient or easier to swap out. In my humble opinion, which is often not very humble. But I think this is something that needs developing. When you plug a cable in and there's that much movement between the cable and the port, and you've got to work out, is it the cable that's going wrong, or is it the port? And they're both here we go, hold on, where's Sign of Nature going? Stock up my, yeah, okay, I got over there. Just one cyber attack away from money in bank disappearing. Was Lebanon and Cyprus, was that a cyber attack? I remember Cyprus, the Cypriot government made a cash grab on all of the accounts. I don't remember how many years ago I'm talking about now. Somewhere between 5 and 10. Time flies, who fucking knows? But the Cypriot government made a grab on any account with over a certain amount in, and they snatched some significant proportion. I don't know if they did it in the end. I remember it being talked about or proposed. But yeah, you're right. Stuff like PayPal money is funny money. It's a lot like what do they call it? The cyber currencies, the cryptocurrencies. It's numbers on a computer and someone can take it. Even though it's all supposed to be traceable through the blockchain. But yeah. I think we've had this argument before about crypto being a big database. The blockchain is just a big searchable database. And pseudo-anonymized, but once they've got your wallet number, things can be looked back on and tracked and supposedly traced back to who gave you the money. That's why I'm not a fan. Notes and coins. You got a €10 note in your pocket, or a £10 note, or a $10 note. Nobody knows who gave you it, why they gave it to you, when they gave it to you. There's no dicking about. Cash is king. In my humble opinion. Alter blacks out. Oh, he's deleted it. Typed something wrong. Alter blacks out everything. If there's just one word misspelt, Robert, you can just put an asterisk in your next message and just type the one correct word. I'll pick it up. I'm quite good at that. Roger says it was light when I opened my eyes. It was light when I opened mine. I had not been asleep. Oh, no. Well, okay. Let me backtrack a bit. I woke up at somewhere between 2:30 and 3 this morning, and that was me. And then I fell asleep for about half an hour, somewhere just before 7 o'clock or 6:30, somewhere there. And it was getting light. By 7, it was light enough to take the dog out for a morning walk. it had been getting light somewhere between 8 and 8:30 the last week. So 7 to 7:30 this morning. It's the same time really, but we just call it by a different name, don't we? We just rebrand the hours. So I was quite happy that it was light early, but I knew I was going to be pissed off to fuck when it got dark at 6 o'clock. I don't like that. I do not like dark at 6 o'clock. It's objectively bad in and of itself, but for me, it gives me a real throwback to my first winter in this field when I'd been flooded out and I had nothing. As soon as it was dark, that was the end of my day. I only had a bedroll. No shelter, no tent, no nothing. Just a bedroll. And initially not even a tarp. I had a large plastic bag that I think a fridge freezer had been delivered to somebody, and I'd picked up the big plastic bag. Later on, maybe a month later, I found my first tarpaulin, which is 3 meters by 2. Big enough to put over a single bed and tuck under on 3 sides and leave enough to pull over my head if we had torrential rain again. But for 4 or 5 months, I had nothing. I did build a shelter halfway through that. But still, once it was dark, it was dark. I've told this before many times, haven't I? I don't want to bore everybody. But you fall asleep and you wake up at some point in the night. You don't know if you've been asleep half an hour, 5 hours. You don't know if you're half an hour away from daylight or if you've still got another 8, 9, 10 hours to go. That was the worst. That was the worst period while I've been homeless. The days were great. We'd get out. I'd dig a newspaper out of a bin, English language newspaper, do the quiz page and the crossword, the Sudoku, whatever logic puzzles, and there'd be a little 10 or 20 question quiz. Do all that. There'd be a coffee time kind of crossword, and a big one. And we'd go sit on cliff tops, on the benches on the cliff tops, spend all day in the light, having a good time. But as soon as it was dark, that was it. No phone, no radio, no nothing. Almost drove me mad. No phone, no radio, no lamps, no lights. Nothing to do once it got dark. Lay on your back in a field, look up at the sky and watch the satellites go by. So much of the sky moves nowadays when you're just looking up at the sky. So much. I've said about the time that I was watching a constellation. And I was watching it and watching it, then one of the stars just fucked off and moved. I mean, obviously it hadn't, but I'd not seen it move across and into my field of view. There was a star there, and it was there for ages, and something must have come and run right across in front of that star, and then carried on moving. And to my mind, I was staring at a constellation that had whatever number of stars, and then one of them just fucked off. It was the most fucking mind-boggling. I knew it couldn't be what I'd seen. I knew that was impossible. Stars don't just fuck off and move. But it's how it appeared. I don't know. What do you do? We are the blockchain, says Robert. Digi ID ready, Mike? No, I'm not ready for a digital ID. This is one of the arguments that I'm having with the chap that I'm arguing with. Oh, you hate ID cards, but you went to Spain, the king of the ID cards. It's like, okay. Kind of. but I wanted nice weather. What can you do? I am perfectly capable of making decisions that are contrary to my own ideals. Now, whether you call it hypocrisy or a compromise, I don't know. But you'd have perfect carbon scores on your digital ID. Yeah, my digital footprint isn't that great. Other than people driving to me to bring me food and water. Or beer, Karen. Thank you. She brought me some ice today. They brought me 2 6-litre bottles of frozen water that I can put into the various cool boxes and keep things cold. But they did bring a cold beer, a case of cold beer and a case of no, it's a cold beer. They put so much water into the fridge to cool, or into the freezer to cool. They couldn't get the beer in, the second case of beer in. Might not be a problem for too much longer, folks. Might not be a problem for too much longer. Let me just scratch my eyelid. Oh. Itchy eyes. Let's go back to what I was talking about with the clock change. How quickly do you adapt to it? I had to sit there and ponder for a while whether I'd gained an hour's sleep or lost an hour's sleep. It always, logically, it always takes a little bit, it's a bit of a faff to work out. I also didn't know whether because I'd slept at the time that the change happens. So I think in Spain, does it happen at 2 or 3? You hit that time and it goes back to being 1, but I was asleep at 1 and 2. Now in the past, your phone or your tablet would pop up a thing, oh, we have automatically adjusted your time. They would pop up and tell you that. Didn't this week on either today on either device. Didn't fuck off. Didn't mention it. So I'm looking all night long because I was awake from 2:30, 3 o'clock onwards, whatever it was. I'm looking at it and wondering, has it adjusted? Has it adjusted? Because there have been years when they've misprogrammed these things and it didn't adjust. But then when it got light at 7 o'clock-ish, I knew that it had. Both of them had. But I'm not a fan of it not notifying you. Should at least give you... It's not like I get to compare it against some other device since my watch broke. Well, the watch straps broke. They perished. The watch is around here somewhere. Fuck if I know where. Last I saw it was on the bed. But everything moves that way and then drops off onto the floor. And you pick it up and put it back, and in a week it's gone again. It's because I can't get out of the bed and walk around. I have to bum shuffle to that end. And so does Tina. So all the bedding gets pulled that way and off the bed. It takes everything else with it. And it's just... You won't see this because I'm not going to show you. It's too embarrassing. But there is like a whole line. Like imagine a 12-inch, 30 centimetre edge on this bed here where I'm laying. That's just full of... There's a chopping board and a knife and a fork and a spoon. There are Bluetooth speakers. There's a bottle of some sort of fucking sauce that's been here months untouched. There's a bottle of mustard here. There was mayonnaise and ketchup. I put them up on top of the chest of drawers. But when the wind blows, the tent bows in and pushes them back off of up there and they land back on the mattress again. What can you do, folks? What can you do? When you're a slob and you've just spent all summer just living in your bed. Karen told me off earlier, she says I have to clear all the crap off my chair. Try and use my chair for Christmas. So that when I bring my Christmas tree out, my fibre optic Christmas tree, as a tramp in a field with my fibre optic Christmas tree, I'll be able to sit in my chair and see the flashing lights. Last year I made a point, I had a coffee table to stand it on. This year there's no coffee table in here. I made a point of leaving the door open so people up at the top road, in the houses and at the bus stop, and just driving past, they'd be able to see my my plinking, flashing Christmas tree. I don't know. Where was I? I was talking about telegraph crosswords. Oh, I'm not. I used to be okay at the cryptic crosswords, telegraph and times, but my brain doesn't join the dots in the same way anymore. Hey, babe. You've seen me struggle to remember words and stuff. I can't remember a word I want to say in a sentence. I got no chance when someone's been deliberately cryptic and they've used two words that have a synonym in common, and sometimes I can spot the anagrams and some of the other things sometimes. Or it's one of those words that's bridged between two or three other words, and you read the end of one word all the way through a small word and the beginning of and that's your word. Stuff like that. But some of the other ones where you're looking for really obtuse connections, my brain doesn't make connections like it used to. Sudoku I like. Sudoku's good. I usually do one of the medium level ones as a warm up and then get stuck into the difficult ones. Those are a little bit 50-50. Sometimes I fly through them. Sometimes I get hung up on them and have to come back the next day. I've also I get distractions that mean I don't get to just sit and focus and concentrate. The dog will do something. Somebody walking past might do something. A car alarm might go off either at the bottom of the road or the top of the road. Just those little things that just, when you're needing to do like an intense focus. I'm in a cloth house, I'm in a house made out of fabric. I had boxing gloves on, says Robert. Hold on, what have I missed? I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. Things could be worse. Are there benefits of being a multi-billionaire? What? Are there benefits of being a multi-billionaire with a terminal illness and in constant pain? I think, okay, you're making a wealth versus health comparison. Yeah, I think most people would rather have their health. For me, the danger is this kind of living is possibly not healthy. Once you get into winter and the air's damp, you can see I've already picked up some kind of chest infection or something from somewhere. I date it back to when I got the tickly cough, the tickly swollen throat, sore throat, a couple of weeks ago. Might be 3 by now. Might be 3 weeks ago. And not having access to healthcare except in an emergency. So yeah, and I think I mentioned on Friday that I dragged my back again this week. Hasn't been too bad. I haven't aggravated it again. It has eased off, but it is still there. If I'm bending over a lot, so like I said earlier, my friend Karen brought me these 6 litre bottles of frozen water, 6 litre bottle of ice. Bending over, picking those up, putting them in a cool box that's on the floor, then putting a couple of trays of beer into the same box. Not complaining, Karen. Not complaining if you're out there and if you ever see this. Not complaining. But all that bending over and picking up, and that's the life here. Everything's stored on the floor. Most things are stored on the floor. Bending and twisting and stepping over things and around things. Yeah. It's quite an active lifestyle, and boost your immune system with mushrooms. I haven't heard that one. Nobody's brought me mushrooms. And as you know, I haven't been shopping in quite a while. I may I've got certain challenges in working out going shopping. I think I mentioned this Friday night. But if you imagine me taking the dog in her chariot, and when we hit the end of a curb and there isn't a ramp down, I have to pick that up with her in it, picking up the back end of the wheelchair with her in it. And then when we get across the road, if there's no ramp back up and onto the footpath, pick it up again. Well, imagine coming home from the supermarket and you've got 10, 12, 15 kilograms of whatever on your shoulder. Maybe you've got a bag in the other hand with eggs or bread or, the lightweight stuff, salad, whatever. But I've got a big heavy weight on my shoulder. I've got something in my hand. I got the dog lead and I'm having to physically pick up the dog chariot every now and again, bending over. That shoulder will go low, and that's the shoulder with all the heavy food on. I don't know whether I can put a heavy load on this shoulder instead. I mean, obviously physically I can. What I mean is, I never have done. I've always favoured my right arm and right shoulder for the heavy stuff. I don't know, folks. I may have to, when I do start shopping, I might have to shop more frequently than would be the case. Obviously, I'm still quite happy for people to bring me things and save me the trouble. But I can't live like that forever. At some point, I will have to start going shopping again. Chi Chi helps your muscles. I've no idea what that is. A lot of people redacting their messages tonight. Marie's just arrived and is already redacting her messages. Honey, I do have 2 or 3 bottles of honey actually. I've never really got much of a use for it. When I've run out of sugar in the past, I've used honey in my coffee. But other than that, I don't really know what to do with it. I'm a bit like that with a few things people bring me. People bring me lemons and limes. Sometimes I can't tell the difference. Did you know that lemons start off green? I think they do anyway. So sometimes I don't even know whether it is a lemon or a lime. But I haven't got much to do with them. I don't really use them in cooking. I don't put them in drinks. Boil some water and sugar, make a syrup, squeeze the lemons in and make lemonade, maybe. It's like when people give me a fucking avocado. I'm from fucking Barnsley. What am I going to do with a bastard avocado? I mean, I have eaten them, but I just cut them in half, get that fucking big rock out of the middle, and eat it. I got nothing. Some things are just people bring me things from their posh lives, and it doesn't gel with my working class background. No, that I'm not grateful. Grateful for everything. I appreciate everybody trying, and but some things do. Some things do unfortunately go to waste. Sometimes 2 or 3 people will bring me a bag or 2 of food each in quick succession. And then the race is on to get through all of the fresh stuff before it goes off. Especially in the middle of summer where things go off so quickly. Might not be a problem from now on. Well, in another week or so. Once I take delivery. You all know this. You've all followed this story. I don't know why I'm hedging around it. I'm buying a fridge freezer type thing. Cool box style, chest, like lid opening from the top. 2 compartments. The small compartment is a fridge only, with a compressor underneath. So that's why it's smaller, less deep. The larger area, the larger volume, can be either a fridge or a freezer. I just heard like a mobile phone plink, but my phone's here and my tablet's here. Somebody outside? Don't know. Car coming past now. I can only hear the wheels. There's no engine noise at all. Tyres on the stones. Friction and what have you. Some of these cars go past before I know they're there. It's always interesting. Where am I, folks? What was I talking about? Deep heat cream is good for back. Yeah, I mean, it would be. I don't have any. I'm unlikely to get any. Oh, Tai Chi, I've got you. I'm a bit... Tai Chi, the fucking exercise that they keep advertising the shit out of on YouTube. And now they've invented something called Tai Chi walking. Has Marie just deleted a second message? What's going on? Everything okay, Marie? I hope everything's okay. A bit worrying. Not had a stroke or something. You can't be misspelling things that badly that you have to delete 2 messages on the trot. If people realised the benefits of lemons, they'd cost a tenner each. Yes, sailors know this well, yeah. And everyone in Europe, or no one in Europe would give us the lemons, would they? So we had to take limes with only half the vitamin C, which is why half the world call us limeys. This is true. Vitamin C deficiency. Scurvy? I think that one's scurvy, isn't it? But in the modern world, you're unlikely to go short of most of these vitamins. If you eat any kind of semi-normal diet. Honey, soy sauce, and a bit of tomato. You're making something approximating what, like a barbecue sauce or something? Sticky sauce heated over chicken is nice. Hi and bye, catch up tomorrow. Okay. Bye for now. Glad you managed to type a comment that you left for once. Okay. Nice sauces to put over chicken. Over what? Over fried chicken? Yeah, I don't get meat that often. I don't eat meat very often. Some sandwich slices, some boiled ham or ham on whatever some of these small circles of... I can't remember the name. The different pig legs in Spain. Ham on this, that or the other. There's Iberico. I did actually have an Iberico or Iberica. I did have some slices of that recently. See, I got these posh friends who bring bags of food as they leave the country. Stuff that I would have never been able to afford even in the before times, folks. Even back in the day, I wouldn't have been buying the Iberico. Broken shoulder learning to type. Oh, yeah, no, that wouldn't be good. Having to relearn kind of basic skills. Yeah, okay. We'll catch you later anyway. I'll be honest about the Tai Chi, I'm getting sick of those adverts. I keep trying to block that. Back in the day, you could say kind of not interested, don't show me this ad again. Now when you click the dots in the corner, it takes you off into Google's ad preferences stuff, and you don't get to block individual ads. You can report them if you think something is like illegal or whatever. And even when they clearly are, they come back and say, no, your complaint has been ignored. I had one that popped up saying your device has this many viruses or whatever, and it was just an outright lie. And that's deceptive marketing. It didn't say this is an advert. It didn't name a product up front. It just went through the animation saying virus is found, virus is found. And it was from a like a regular brand virus detector. In the end, when they told you who and what it was, to me it was totally deceptive. Shouldn't have been allowed. I complained about it, and they came back and said, no, no, it doesn't breach our terms. Yeah, right. Yeah, me too. Every 5 minutes when watching something. You talking about the Tai Chi ads? Yeah, Big Clive was complaining about it as well the last couple of weeks. Everybody's sick of them. Everybody's sick of them. I'm sure there'll be free Tai Chi videos on YouTube already. So why they want you to go off, fill in a quiz, just to try and sell you a course at the end of it, which will just be an online few videos anyway. There'll be videos online anyway if anybody wanted to do Tai Chi. And I'm not sure whether those videos are AI or not. You got all those blokes that sit around topless. Some woman says, how long will it take if my husband decides to start Tai Chi tomorrow? How old's your husband? Oh, 50. They're always 56 or 57. Everybody's 56 or 57. How long should he go to? Should he go to the gym? Is the gym not better? No, fuck off. The gym breaks joints or whatever. Tai Chi heals. Just fuck off. So weird that this guy looks like he's sat in the woman's house chatting with her, but he's got no clothes on his top half. Yeah. If you wanted to exercise, you'd go to the gym or go out for a run or a cycle or something. Which is why they've now invented Tai Chi walking. Fuck off. Walking is walking. What are you going to do different? Don't know, folks. I'm ranting about stuff because it is annoying. For me now on YouTube, it's getting so annoying. If I'm on a page that's listing the videos that I might be interested in, if I click on it, and they're always going to show two adverts. If the adverts are longer than 10 seconds between the two, I close the advert. I close that video, reduce it down and hit the X to close it, and then I'll relaunch the same video. And when on the second or third go, you'll just get a 5-second video, and sometimes it just jumps straight into the video. If your advert is more than 5 seconds long, and if there's more than two of them, I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to just close it down and re-click to watch the video. And on the second or third go, you'll get straight in. Some of them want to show you like a 30... You're sat there 30 or 40 seconds waiting for the progress bar to progress. And then afterwards, they'll show you one that's either 5 or 10 seconds, and it gets to the end, and that's not the end. It has the skip button, but they're going to carry on for like 5 fucking minutes if you're not there to press skip. Some of them go on forever. I've lain here some nights kind of listening to a story or something, kind of dozed off, and I suddenly realised that for 5 minutes I've been listening to something that's not the, when you're in that dozy kind of state. 5 minute long fucking advert. In Spanish, because I'm in Spain. Fuck. Yeah. Sign of Nature says no ID me. You're not going to have the cyber ID or whatever it's called, the national ID. I wouldn't have it voluntarily. Hold on. Me no Mike show. You're going to have to start typing in sentences, mate. I got no idea where you're going there. Me no Mike show. Don't know. So yeah, I guess I guess the clock going back was the only thing that's changed since Friday night when I did the other show, when I did the other TrampCast Hangout. Maybe I'm going to have to vary these a little bit and not the Friday and Sunday have become kind of fixed points, and it's not meant to be like that. It is meant to be more random. One day this week, if I do take Tina out, we're going to go and sit on the chairs at the top of the cliffs where we used to go, and I might do a live from there, just in an afternoon, or it might even be a morning, depending on when we go. So we could do some shorter hangouts, or just shorter live streams. I used to record the odd video from up there. This was back in the day when I'd spend 10 hours there. So if some plane went by, or some ship went by, or something happened, I could just do lots of little clips and then string them together into one 20-minute or 15-minute video about that afternoon out in the sun. Those were probably mainly before I started live streaming so much. Don't know. Got to start getting back out and about there, folks. That's the thing. It is just... It's a little bit of a trauma to get Tina into the chariot, into the buggy. Getting her out's easy enough. She doesn't struggle against that. Getting her back into it when there's an audience, like when we were at the cafe bar, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, and I needed the other person that I was out with, the lady that was treating me to the beer. I needed her to help get Tina's legs in, because Tina crosses her legs, and I've got to try and put her down and through stirrups, down through some hoops, and then open into some stirrups. But her legs naturally cross nowadays, except for when she pees. Because I'm carrying the back end with the belt, she lifts both legs up and out now to pee, and I'll shout kind of wee, because she's peeing from midair. It's entertaining to watch, but she's heavy. She's heavy. For the distance that she insists on walking before she'll do her wee-wee. And she won't just do one, she has to do 3. There's as soon as you get out of the tent, like emergency offloading of something just to ease her discomfort. Then there's the halfway up the road, and then there's at the top of the road, or halfway back on the way down the road. Hey babe, I'm talking about you. Hello you. Now that you're facing me, can I show you to the peoples? Is Tina going to talk to the peoples and say hello? Properly this time, without turning away. Let's have a look. Here she is. Hey babe. Tina? Hey. Can I have a chin? You don't want a chin cuddle? Well, where is she? There she is, look. She doesn't really like the light. Hey babe, I can't reach you with my bad back. Just twinge a little bit when I stretch that far. You're not going to come this way a little bit? Come on this way. Come on up. Come on. No? You're licking your lips like you're ready for water now, yeah? Tina's water. She's at the end of the bed, darling. She's just on the floor at the end of the bed. Go get Tina's water. Agua para Tina. Agua para ti. Go on. You're not going to. Okay, back with me then. If you're not talking to the peoples properly, and you're not doing as you're told with your water, now you're sitting up and looking at me again. You are a cussed little bugger, aren't you? I don't know, folks. That's my Tina girl. The USA shut. Yeah, the government shut down because they couldn't agree a budget. I didn't know it affected food stamps and things. Bless her, says Joanne. Yeah, she's lovely in her own way, but she can be an awkward sod in her own way as well. And now she's laid down across the bed where my feet want to be, which means I just have to sit up a bit more so that my feet don't stretch that far. Oh, because the back, I do actually. I saw them earlier, they're nearby. Just excuse me a second, folks. If I reach back here, I think I've been taking paracetamol, but bad backs, as I understand it, bad backs respond better to ibuprofen because ibuprofen reduces swelling more than paracetamol. Paracetamol blocks pain signals. Ibuprofen blocks pain signals, and where's the open one? None of them are the open one. They must be. That one was the open one. Why could I not find it? Now I do have to be a little bit careful here. These are big tablets and I am on the pop. Ibuprofen and alcohol are not a good combination. But sometimes needs must. Pop it under the tongue. It's supposed to be swallowed because it's quite nasty tasting. But if you know anything about certain medications, there are receptors under the tongue that will fast line active ingredients into the bloodstream more quickly than swallowing them and waiting for them to dissolve in the stomach. This is the reason that nitroglycerine tablets and things that are taken by people having heart attacks. Is it heart attacks or is it angina? But they put the tablet under their tongue. So I tend to let it start dissolving in my mouth, put it under my tongue for a while, till the taste gets too acrid, and then swallow. But again, don't do this at home. I get away with this because I've watched House. Okay, I'm going to swallow it now because it is quite acrid and nasty. Oh. I don't get to chew them though because no teeth. That's not quite true. I do have teeth. They're in my toiletries bag just back there. Plastic. I was thinking of putting some in a while ago. Somebody gave me some peanuts, and I haven't eaten nuts in. I don't think I've had any while I've been homeless. But I've got my plastic teeth, and I've got some of the gunk for gluing them in. Although the problem with things like peanuts and hazelnuts, and they get under the plastic, they get under the pallet, under the plate, under the pallet, and become quite aggravating. But I could put my teeth in for an hour or two and just enjoy some nuts. I think I ended up throwing them away in the end. I think the people that were donating them had opened them and had some and were giving me an open bag, and the salt draws in moisture and they become a bit yucky after a while. But yeah. That's like my Kuma. It was Kuma's way or no way. Kuma. Is that the name of a pet? Or like Kumar without the R? I had a teacher at college called Kumar. Doesn't it mean prince? Your dog, Kuma. Okay. Is this a dog that you've still got, or is it a? You said it was, so I'm thinking that this is a past tense. Sorry about that if that is the case. I guess we all go in the end, dogs included. Like I said, my Tina's not going to last forever. I was chatting with a guy online, and he had a dog that went similar to Tina, but in his case, he found out that it was a worming tablet that the dog had taken, and I don't know how we got the diagnosis in the end, but the worming tablet had poisoned the dog, and over time it's going to get better. They've started a treatment, like an antidote or something, and over the next 2 or 3 months is expected to make a significant recovery. They've got to wait a while to find out how much damage is permanent. But that's good for him and his doggos. I think it was when his second dog started to go at this, not at the same time, but a few weeks later, that they realised this wasn't just a natural thing, something, and maybe they made the connection. You treat one dog with a worming tablet 1 week, and 2 weeks later you treat the other dog. One dog goes bad, and then 2 weeks later the other dog goes bad. But I'm happy for him that they found a diagnosis and a solution. We don't have that. And as I've hinted in the past, I don't know how much I've said. Certain things are getting worse still. I've got a fly landing on my face and on my glasses. I've had to do this an awful lot. So friends brought me fly spray. Was it this week? Anthony's visit. It must have been this week. And I have used, in the 3 or 4 days since they'd brought the fly spray, I've used more than I would use in a 2 week or 3 week period. I can feel from the weight of the bottle that it's starting to drop in volume. Whereas normally one of these would last me 2 or 3 months. I'm already sensing the, yeah, look, fuck off. I don't want mosquitoes in here, you little fuck. Just get a glint of it in the light every now and again. And the tennis racket of death, I think it popped off a couple of times earlier. But it's not getting that many tonight. Tina, do you want to get under the blanket, darling? Come on. Are you even on the bed? Oh, it's not reached you. I tried to throw it over you. Come here. Tina, here. You go. I only got your head. She likes having her head under the cover. No, now she's pulling out from under it. There's a moth in here somewhere. Is that it? Are you the moth? You're the moth. You can fuck off. See, ordinarily I would turn this light off and they'd be attracted to the big tennis racket of death, and there'd be a bonfire over there soon. She not long went over the Rainbow Bridge. Yeah. Any plans for relocating, a change of scenery? No. I have no way of knowing. If I went somewhere else, how would I know whether it was private land or public land? And if it's public land, the police can come along and kick shit out of you and make you move. And they do like to go hands-on, the Spanish police. Is it raining, or am I listening to 2 moths flying into the surface of the tent? I think it's raining. It is. There have been a couple of spells of. It's been a very cloudy day today. A little bit cooler than normal, like I said before. and not much sun, no big sunny outbreaks. The eco flow for most of the day was picking up between 10 and 25 watts, and it was quite after last night. It was down to 60%, and it took forever to get back up into the normal realms, into the high 90s, and eventually it hit 100%. But very slow and steady. Obviously, I didn't need to burn any electric on the fan. It was cool enough to not need the fan today. Most of this week, only a few days this week, I've needed to put the fan on to keep the air moving. We had a couple of days hit into the low 30s again, which is not bad for the last week in October. Or thereabouts. But yeah, no, it took a while to get the charge back up. Trying to work out why it's going so low overnight. I did leave the lantern turned on and plugged in, and also the fly swatter, tennis racket of death as I call it. I left those on, and the phone would have been plugged in. The phone acts as like a router now for me for my mobile broadband, and I do the hotspot so that the tablet can do its thing. So the phone stops charging when it hits 80%. When it drops down so far, it will charge again. So I guess there's a few things putting a constant drain on it. But it was unusual for me to leave the lantern on and plugged in. Normally I would charge it up fully and then disconnect it. Charge it through the day when there's actually sun there and there's excess capacity not getting used for anything else. How old is Tina? Tina is 9.5, almost exactly. To within a range that we can actually tell. When I got her in the December, they said she was between 6 and 10 months old, 8 and 10 months old. So I gave her the date. I gave her April the 1st as her birthday. She's my little April Fool, as well as being a bloody idiot. Hey babe, Tina's my little April Fool, and my little hot water bottle when winter properly gets here. I have noticed on windy days recently the wind just blowing straight through these walls, quite drafty. Some of my previous tents have been a little bit more of a barrier against the weather, so I'm suspecting this is a summer tent rather than winter. Might be a 3-season, but winter won't be one of them. I've got a couple of extra tarpaulins. I may, once we get more towards winter, I may peg some extra tarpaulins up and on the outside. Partly because the tarpaulin that's there at the minute has now got holes in it, but partly just for extra insulation. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. What was I talking about before I went off on about the tent? We were talking about Tina and how old she was. Plans for relocating, yeah, I said. I'm not good at spotting where to put a tent. That's the other thing. I kind of dropped lucky when I landed here. Although I wouldn't have told you that after my first night here, or 1 month on from being here when I'd had the second flood. There's a chance at the minute that a friend might pop round with a shovel or a spade, and I'm going to go and clear the drainage ditch at the top of the road. The ditch itself's fine. It's only where it exits the drainage ditch and is supposed to cross the road. Then there's all this tall grass and reeds and there was trees there really, but I might not dig down and dig out roots or anything, but I'm gonna chop the actual obstructions away that stop the water running. But in terms of going somewhere else and finding another plot of land and setting up a tent as big as this, they'd be on me from day one. I wouldn't know the status of the land. I know this is private land and therefore nothing to do with the police or the town hall. Now, if the owner comes along and says go, that's a different question. But hasn't happened yet. 3 years in this field a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? Almost exactly. The 10th, 2 weeks and 2 days ago. Sorry, didn't mean to move the phone. Yeah. Hey, Rose. I like Rose. She thinks I'm handsome. She obviously needs to go to Specsavers, but Karen's done a good job with the hair and beard cut. Well, she trimmed the beard right down at the time. This was almost all gone. This was short. I did leave the big bushy moustache, but it has all grown back out. But I trimmed the moustache, was that one day last week? Or was it one day this week? Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember what's this week and what's not. I think it was this week. Was it this week that the lady took me for a beer? So that must have been, was that Tuesday? And then later that day, Anthony phoned me and said he was in the country, but only for a day and a half. And he came round Wednesday and brought me a breakfast and brought his friends around. His brothers-in-law around. And they're all very generous. Yeah. That's this week. That feels longer ago. And taking Tina out, so yeah. Hope you're okay, says Rose. We are okay, yeah. We're okay. Nasty little biting flies lately. It's been bad in this field. After the field flooded 2 weeks ago, and then was right on the cusp of flooding a week ago. So streams running through the field, but not an overall flood. The week before that definitely had been, the way everything was moved away. I've said about how I've lost all my pans and pan lids. Partly that was the idiot throwing them at me when he attacked me. But I've had other ones that I think just went in the storms. See, when your cooking area is a ring on the floor outside, out the back there, and then that's where you start leaving your pots and your pans and your cooking implements, the big spoons and the ladles and the fish slice, the spatula. Things go. Or at least this time they did. I'm not sure if they washed away in a flood. Certainly I had the idiot throw 2 pans at me, which I then never been able to find afterwards. Whether someone else is coming in and taking things and taking the piss. Somebody dropped off a parasol this week. It looks quite big. I haven't put it up yet. But Tina got out in the night. She wasn't tied up or anything, and I must have been deep asleep to not notice her move. She got out of the tent. She went around the tent. She started barking at 5 in the morning. She went out on the right-hand side of the tent, and then she was in the camp on the left-hand side. Not bad for someone with no back legs. She got around there. She started barking like hell, woke me up at 5 in the morning. So I went out and staggered around and tripped over this bloody parasol that was just lying in the pathway. I don't know if that's when the person dropped it off and that's what she was barking at. I don't know. People who drop things off for me and don't even tell me. In the past, I've had people come down the field and leave a bag of food in the sun and not tell me. I've had things go bad before I've even got them. If you do drop stuff off, folks, feel free to just give me a shout. Park alongside or stand out on the little track here and shout me. I don't bite. Neither does Tina, usually. But yeah, let me know if you drop something off. I guess some people have walked down through the field before and Tina started barking. They don't know the situation, you know, that she's kind of immobile. So they hear a dog and they drop their bag and run. Literally one time I went out and there was this black lady running out of the top of the field. She left a lovely note in the bag actually, but mainly in Spanish. I caught the gist of it, but yeah. Yeah, after the rains, though, going back to hello Dennis, going back to after the floods, 2 or 3 days later, all these flies just appear out. I think out of the ground. I think the flies, a lot of them leave their. I don't know if it's eggs. I don't know if it's larvae, pupae. I'm not sure what stage we're at, but wet ground. A few days later, flies. If you leave bowls of stagnant water, a couple of weeks, mosquitoes. Puddles tend not to last too long, so that's usually not a worry. But this road has washed away a hell of a lot, and so people are driving down the road, and their right wheel goes in a rut, left wheel's on a fairly solid piece. But because the right hand side's washed away, you've got this kind of crown in the middle of the road, and people are bottoming out. They're all scraping the bottoms of their cars as they go. You would think that they'd get together and buy some gravel and fill in the potholes. And like I said, only 1/3 of the water in the drainage ditch was making it across the ford at the top of the road and off to the proper drainage off to the sea. 1/3 was coming down the field, 1/3 was coming down the road, and only 1/3 was getting these approximate. You know, I'm just looking at it, trying to gauge it. But unblock the drainage channel would be their biggest thing they could do together, or the council could do for them, or they could get some loose chippings, you know, and get some gravel and fill the. They're not even potholes; they're massive ruts in the road. Anyway, who am I? I'm just a tramp in a field. But yeah, very much nasty little biting flies. Yeah. Rose says, "Lucky you're chilling out. She's night shifting again. They said get into nursing. It's fun." Yeah, that's. I guess night. My assumption is that on the night shift you get quite a lot of. And there's going to be busy periods, and then it's going to go quiet, and you're sat at the nurse's station or in a break room or something. And then if something happens, if someone rings a buzzer or something, it gets busy again. I don't know. I'm making assumptions based on watching Casualty. That's my main experience of hospitals. I don't do doctors. I don't do hospitals. I had enough of that shit when I was a kid. Just with my face. You're coughing because of fly spray? I don't think so. I think it is because I had that tickly, swollen, sore throat thing, and then it's just lingered. It does move some phlegm every now and again. It's not an entirely dry cough. Come here, babe. You got off the bed and now you can't get back on. Come here. Come on. I got you. Wake you up by your collar. Oh, I don't like to do that. But okay, as long as you're happy. Get you back on the bed, yeah? Okay, but now you're on top of the blanket, not under the blanket. Let me have my blanket back, because it's not just my blanket, it's yours as well. Get under. Okay? Under the blanket. There you go. Now you're my clever little warm girl. Sorry, folks. Had to. I'll pull the blanket back off her. Had to let my girl back onto the bed after she got off for some water. It's a bit awkward. She's got the strength to get her front paws up and onto the bed, but she can't hoik herself up and on it fully. And I have to just grab her by the collar and pull. It's getting a bit easier. It feels like her front's getting a little bit stronger. A bit more muscle tone maybe, from being out in the chariot a few times. And so I don't have to pull as hard to get her up and on. It's not the big struggle it was. Either that or I'm building my muscles up as well. I have been carrying her further when we've been going out for the walks. Just the morning ablutions or evening ablutions, the pee and poo walk. There's no way I'm spending between 5 and 10 minutes strapping her into the wheelchair to take her for a poo and a pee 3 or 4 times a day. No way. I don't know. Foil up a bowl to get... Are you doing like the Pringles aerial thing? Rose has just returned from Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe and full of bites. Thank God I took a full course of anti-malaria. Oh yeah. Malaria. My dad had malaria. He worked out in Africa, Angola, Zaire, Gabon, back in the... This would have been the 80s. And onwards. When a little disease called AIDS appeared as well, didn't it? He was out there at that point, at that time. I had no idea where he is now, but he carried on working out there for quite a while, decades, but I don't know what the score is now. Don't even know if he's still alive. Rose says she doesn't bite. Leave bay leaves in vinegar, keep flies away in tent. I hear a lot of these kind of herbal remedies. The citronella and the lemon and the... I don't know. What did somebody say one time? Oh no, that was urine to get rid of mice. Oh, I don't know. Any of those volatile chemicals, any of those, your lavenders and I can't remember the others. But any of those essential oils in a bit of vodka or a bit of vinegar. I've tried a few of them. I haven't made any noticeable difference with a lot of it. Usually, like I said, one of these bottles of fly spray will last me 2 to 3 months. At the minute, because we're in the middle of a... It's because our carpet got... It's because the tent floor got wet through. Didn't flood per se, but we had water bubbling up through the floor. And like a stream running under the tent, but you've got little holes in the plastic that's on the floor. Carpet got wet through, and a week or 10 days later, before it even fully dried out, it got wet through again. And now what's it been now? It's been like another 10 days or so, has it? Or is it 2 weeks? When was the last flood? The last rain? I haven't released a video yet. I've got a video that I was supposed to be releasing. I was waiting to transfer a weather forecast picture from one device to the other. Just haven't got on with it. I just didn't do it. So if I ever do release it, I'll be saying, hey, here's a video of that storm a month ago. I'm a fucking lazy retard sometimes. Lazy retard. I don't know. Where are we? You see, bay leaves are not something I've ever used. I'm not sure what they're meant to do in food. advert-free zone here. Give thumbs up if you like. Please do, folks. Thumbs ups are always appreciated. 11 people here at the moment, and you've probably cycled in and out. There's probably been 30 or 40 people here during the last hour and a half, but only 6 thumbs ups. Am I that offensive to you? Probably. People leave me things and they don't say. Oh, okay, you say I don't bite. Okay, yeah. I don't bite. Unless I'm asked very nicely. But that's a different conversation. No, I can't bite. I have no teeth. Unless I put them in. Should I do a TrampCast one day where I actually put my teeth in? What I find with that is, when I put them in, I can't talk initially. And over an hour or so, it gets better. But when I take them out eventually, then I can't talk for the next hour. It gets all the S's and they all become very hissy and very very lispy. Back to work on night shift. Off you go, Rose. Nice seeing you again. Catch you later. If I'm on a while, feel free to pop back in later. I got no idea why I would be on still later, because I don't think I've got much to talk about. We might not go too long. You guys have been okay so far with keeping me chatting, with conversation. So feel free to chime in and ask any questions or make any comments. Maybe tell me why you're not hitting the thumbs up. Is the sound still okay? We haven't got any crackliness on the line. That used to happen when we hit 100%, and now it turns off at 80 and it stops charging. So maybe that won't happen as often. Or maybe, heaven forbid, maybe YouTube, I was going to say Amazon, maybe YouTube have improved their software a little bit for that not to happen. We can always hope. I didn't have any problem today setting up the live stream. That's a rare thing. There are still some glitches in there, but I sidestepped them. If you try and edit, so if I've set it, let's say at 7 o'clock, I set up the live stream to go live at 10. So I've set a forward time. If you go in to edit that time, when you come out, it unsets it and will set it for midnight that night. I could still make videos bitching at YouTube for obvious glitches and errors in their software. I've done 2 or 3. Again, one guy told me to stop bitching, either stop using YouTube or shut up. And I'm like, no, there's an error in their software. Why not point it out to them? Maybe one day someone will listen. I know, right? Long shot. But when you can demonstrate it in a video, why not demonstrate it and show it to them? Joanne's off to bed. Work tomorrow. Say hi to Karen. Yeah, I will do if she pops in. She's been ill recently. She had a bad cough and other symptoms. Hers started with sore throat and cough. I think she said she was on the beach and the group, like the next towel over, were coughing. So maybe she got it from them, and then maybe on a visit here she's passed it on, or maybe the other way around. Maybe I gave it her. I talk with about 3 people a week. They're not always the same people, but in a typical week, I doubt I have 3 conversations. So it's rare that anybody's close enough in proximity enough to cross contaminate or to infect me. Um, but yeah, we did both. We did both get some kind. For me, it was just a couple of nights of a tickly, that itchy, scratchy throat. But then I've just been left with that annoying little. It's kind of partly in the back of the throat, but every now and again something on the chest does move. But she's been much worse. Next, please. Next time you want me to put my teeth in? No. It elongates my face a bit, so I become a bit more. I haven't wore them since COVID. During COVID, I said, "Fuck it, what's the point?" And I don't think I wasn't even sure I still had them. This Spanish guy that was camping outside the field, and when he left, one of my bags disappeared, my hold all. I think he snaffled a first aid kit, and I was really concerned he might have got my toiletries bag as well, because I haven't been using it in the tent. I said the other day, I have a towel here that had my toiletries like rolled up in it. A flannel, a toothbrush, toothpaste, bar of soap, imperial leather, obviously. They don't really do bar soap anymore in Spain. Everything's this liquid gunk. It's not really my thing, but I prefer a proper block of soap. But my towel with the things in it I've misplaced them somewhere. I don't know how. They're actually supposed to live inside a bag. I have a small bag down here that has those in, and then some other things, cotton buds and other stuff. I currently got no idea. So the other day I had to start washing with a different towel, and I actually used the corner of the towel as the flannel, and then dried off, and I got liquid soap just back here. But no, I don't know. But I'm lucky to even have my teeth here. I didn't know they were. I thought they were in the bag that this guy had run off with. Keep safe and well. I shall endeavour so to do, Joanne. Thought you were going, Rose. You're still here. You're not got me like on a phone on a stand at the nurse's station, or were you in the break room? Or maybe you're one of those ones that gets to sleep in a bed and you only have to jump out when an alarm goes off. Just kind of an on-call thing. Not sure. Don't know how it all works nowadays. Do as Karen told you and tidy up. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe one day. I don't know which one. I don't know which one day, but there is so much stuff in here that's lost currently. Sometimes I get the thing with the flies, and it's not because it's been wet. Sometimes it's because I've forgotten about some piece of food, and it's gone off in the bottom of a bag in here. I had some. Was that last week? I noticed a lot of little tiny flies around a certain bag, and when I looked in the bottom of the bag, there were some hot dog sausages that had just totally turned to, in a little plastic, I think six hot dog sausages in a plastic thing, and totally turned to mush. And what tends to happen with those is, as it starts to go off, they swell and swell and swell, and then the bag kind of bursts in one corner, and all the bad nasty air comes out, and all of the flies can smell the bad air, and they all get in through the little hole where it burst. So yeah, that happens. Not too often, but it happens. I said about if 2 or 3 people bring multiple bags within a few days of each other, it can be a battle to get through everything before it goes off, and some stuff just gets missed or lost. You don't know. if you've seen when I do the thank you videos and I take everything out and I put them on the sun lounger, and then I know what's there, but I don't always do a thank you video. I should do more of them. But I don't always. So sometimes there's things in the bottom of a bag that I don't even know are there. That's awkward. I've got loads of boxes of cereals at the minute. And I don't know where my powdered milk is. I know I've got some powdered milk somewhere. You see, again, when I get my fridge, I'll have proper real milk. Like if someone brings me a litre of milk here at the minute, in summer, I got about 12 hours to get through it before it's gone bad. In winter, I might get a day and a half before it's gone off. But if I had a proper real fridge, 2, 3, 4 days. Never seen milk here in anything bigger than a litre bottle. You have to just keep buying multiple of these 1 litre bottles. It's not like you go and you can buy a 2 litre or a 4 litre jug of it. Never seen that over here. I think somewhere I saw a litre and a half bottle once. I don't know which supermarket that was. It's not one that I go in regularly. Oh. Not that I go in any supermarket regularly. But they just don't buy 2 litre or 4 litre bottles. Some of the things that you don't get in shops over here and some of the things that you do. So there's always octopus, which I find... I've tried it. It tastes alright. It's rather rubbery though. Pre-cooked, you get it... Well, you can get it pre-cooked or raw. But shrink-wrapped octopus. Big chunk. Like eating a dog whelk. You're just chewing on it for like half an hour. Don't know. Some of the things that you get here and some of the things that you never see. Until recently, I'd never seen a cordial. Literally never seen any kind of squash, fruit squash. It's apple and blackcurrant. Karen found it somewhere and brought it to me, but I don't think it was from a local supermarket. I think it was while she was off on her travels, like buying furniture or something. I think. Salt and vinegar crisps I didn't find for the first 3 or 4 years I was here. Then suddenly Lidl had them. Then for a little while the local Mercadona here had them, but then not. Strange what's, you know. But when a whole category, like if a certain flavour's not there, okay, but different countries, different tastes. But at least there are crisps. But no cordial, no fruit concentrate that you water down and make a drink of squash. That threw me, and now apparently it's here. For the first couple of years I was here, you couldn't find a cash point. You had to go into the centre of town and find a bank, and they'd be on bank walls. Inside most banks nowadays, with maybe one on the outside. Or the inside is partitioned, so you can go in, and in the first area there'll be some cash machines, and then when they're open through the day, they open the inner doors. But now they've got these, they're more frequent. Tobacconists. There were only 2 or 3 in the whole of bloody Torrevieja, as far as I could tell. There were 2 that I know of in Torrevieja, and there was 1 in La Mata, which is different, next town over. Now they're a bit more common. Not that it matters to me, I don't smoke, never have. Never taken a single draw of a cigarette. But I've had friends who do. Some of the differences that you find like that are you can't buy cigarettes like in a supermarket or anything. Almost nothing medical. Paracetamol, ibuprofen, Stuff that normal over-the-counter medication that you can often pick up in a supermarket in the UK. Not here. But there's a pharmacy on the end of every street. And they're expensive as fuck. They're protected by law. There has to be so many pharmacies per so many thousand people. And so they've got, you can't really say monopoly because there's so many other pharmacies, but they don't have to compete with supermarkets. So stuff can be as expensive as hell. But the painkillers, when you do go to the pharmacy, to the chemist, are huge in terms of the active ingredient. I think the ibuprofen I took earlier was 500 milligrams. The paracetamols are 1,000. They're a full gram. Don't think that would be typical in the UK. Someone can confirm for me. I've been out of the country for 9.5 years, so I don't know the full I don't know the full details. This cough, folks, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end it in about 9 minutes. When we come up on the 2-hour mark, midnight my time, 11 if you're in the UK. We're probably gonna draw a line under it there, I think, just because of the throat situation. It is just a tickly cough, but it's annoying, isn't it? I apologise, folks. I don't like to be... I'm trying to turn away so I'm not coughing into the microphone or anything, but you never know. I've got so much catch-up to do, listening back to past episodes. I think in the last month I haven't listened back to any of these. And I know that people have told me certain things that I wanted to take notes on and that I said. I'll play it back tomorrow and I'll make notes and I'll go and look into whatever that is. I will catch up. Maybe I'll try and have a full day of it one day this week. I think we've got rain again on Wednesday. So maybe first thing in the morning I'll start with 1 month ago and I'll work forward. It'll still mean that I've missed some. But it's better than nothing, isn't it? I'll have a go at catching up. Is that you? Don't think it was. I think I was hearing someone's footsteps and I was wondering if it was Tina, like licking or moving around, but no, not. I'm gonna go top chat and then back to live chat just in case I missed anything. No, I'm where I am. Joanne was the last to say, do as Karen told you. At some point this week I am going to trim the beard back again. Take it off there and there. Trim it there. And I may reduce the moustache as well. Even after trimming it, it's hanging way over the top lip. If I was drinking coffee, it's still going to be dripping off. Beer's a little bit different. I can pour it down. But drinking out of a cup, I would still be catching it. Okay, folks, what's anybody got to say in the last 5 or so minutes before we draw a line under it? Thumbs up if you could. I mean, it's a rather low count, rather low tally today. Only 8 thumbs ups. That's, or at least that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm seeing. I know sometimes this has got stuck and there's been more there than it says, but I have no reason to disbelieve at the minute. Nobody's told me that the count is higher than I'm saying. So I don't know. What have I got on for this next week, folks? The next week. Like I said, I'm going to do a beard trim. I'm going to try and get out more often with Tina in her actual chariot, in her actual doggy wheelchair. Whether I just do a video of her walking up and down the street or whether we go somewhere, sit and do a video, or maybe we'll go live while we're out. I don't know. I did decide while we were out this week that I was going to once a week I was going to go and have like either a coffee or a canya, a small beer. somewhere. I'd favour coffee, to be honest. Um, Whether I go to like a regular, but whether I develop a regular place that we go once a week, or whether we go somewhere different every week, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's going to pan out. Definitely going to go and sit on the cliff tops a little bit. Try and squeeze a sunset in. I almost did a sunset video this week, but I was awake most of the night. I fell asleep. I set an alarm to make sure I'd be up. Fell asleep like half an hour before the alarm, and when the alarm went off, I just thought, fuck that. Just no. So I apologise for that because it was a nice morning. Would have been a nice sunrise. Sleep pattern all over the place. Most nights falling asleep somewhere between 10 o'clock and midnight, waking up 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then that's. You are live, it says. Got disconnected slightly. I was just saying, I've been falling asleep early, waking 2 or 3 in the morning, been awake the rest of the night, and then just before daylight, falling asleep for half an hour. Or sometimes a bit more. Some days I was waking up at like 9, half 9. So an hour after sunrise. Quite late for me, but interrupted sleep. When you get that 2 or 3, when you wake up and you feel like you've had a full night's sleep, and then you look and it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock, and then you're awake all bloody night, awake the rest of the night, and then you just fall asleep just before it's time to actually get up and open the doors and put the solar panel out. And like tonight, I've moved the EcoFlow across here. So first job in the morning is to move the EcoFlow back to the door and plug the solar panel in. Get the door open, get out, a couple of other things, empty the piss pot. On the way back, take the dog for a walk. Take care of her morning ablutions. And then invariably, this is the thing, folks. I've hinted that she's deteriorating. Take her for a walk and she'll do her pees. She'll do her peeing. She rarely does her pooing while I'm walking her. So now I've got a decision to make. Do I tie her up just outside the door? Do I tie her up just inside the door so if we have an accident at least it's wipeable and cleanable? Do I let her back on the bed and take a risk? Fortunately, I shouldn't go here. Fortunately, her output is usually fairly solid. So it is just a case of moving her out of the way, scooping up in a plastic bag and getting rid. Occasionally not so easy, so wet wipes are needed to clean the blanket or whatever she's on, and then the alcohol wash. This one was 70%. Oh, the original stuff had this was a gel. My friends at the minute are struggling to find proper hand sanitizer gel. They got bottles of alcohol, some 100%. This was gel, so it was 70%. But I have emptied that and then squeezed actual 100% or 99 or whatever percent alcohol in. But sometimes I've just got some cleanup to do because my girl is losing control of certain functions of her body. You don't want to know about this. You don't want to know about my dog shitting the bed. We try and avoid it. I take her for a walk. I hope that she poos while we're out. If she doesn't, I'll leave her either outside or on the floor. Easier to clean up. After a while, if she hasn't done anything, I'll put her back on the bed. Once or twice we've got caught out and it's been on the bed. You don't want to know any of this. I don't know why I'm telling you this. It's just another sign of the deterioration, is how I see it. I'm hoping it's that and that she's not just picked up the habit of shitting the bed. What else have we got on for this week? Get out, try and do a sunrise, try and do a few videos out with her chariot. I don't think I've got a couple of videos backed up that are waiting to be finished. One's been hanging around for about 6 months. That's not quite right. From August. It was supposed to be released August the 10th. 2.5 months, maybe, is it? Yeah. We shall see, folks. I've got a few things to do, but I'm gonna draw a line under it. I'm just gonna have a final look at chat in case anybody's come along and said anything. No, not that I see. Back to top chat and live chat. Okay, folks. Thank you for keeping a tramp company on a Sunday night, isn't it? I lost track of my days earlier. I thought it was Monday when I was talking with Karen when she was here. I don't know why. Excuse me. Let me see what I can get. If we can finish off in the manner to which we're accustomed, in the traditional manner of the channel. She is asleep, I think. Oh no, she's got her head up. Hey, babe. So bye-bye to the people from Tina. And from me, Delta Mike, out. Thanks, folks.